Often regarded as the greatest player ever, won almost everything football had to offer, one of the most complete footballers of all time, he is Ronaldo. Even before turning 22, Ronaldo had broken the world transfer record 2 times, and was an absolute beast in his prime, proved time and time again that he was completely unstoppable. But then his body literally started to fight against him, and he would end his career being regarded by some as an overrated flop. And while his struggles on pitch were glaring, it was nothing compared to what he experienced as a child. Born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Ronaldo was born into poverty. His father, Luis Nazario, struggled every day to make ends meet. Yet somehow, he was able to send Ronaldo to school. But the boy's love for the game was evident. I always found him on the street playing ball with friends when he should have been in school. His mother, Sonia, said, after his parents separated when he was 11, his mom decided to let him follow his passion. But then, something happened. When Ronaldo was 12 years old, he was much smaller than all the kids his age, and while everyone felt it was because he was malnourished, turns out he was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency, a condition which meant if he wanted a chance at a normal life, an operation needed to be done and done fast. Only problem was, the family didn't have the money, and while Ronaldo's talent was glaring, no club wanted to pay for the treatment. But then by some miracle, a local football talent scout heard about him and paid for his treatment. That year he would join the Social Ramos futsal youth team and would score a record-breaking 166 goals, which included scoring 11 of his team's 12 goals in a single game. Performances like that don't go unnoticed, and soon his agent found himself rejecting offers from clubs like Sao Paulo and Botafogo. See, Ronaldo was a childhood fan for Flamengo. Playing for them was all he imagined for himself, and during this time, he would be called by Flamengo for a trial. But because his family couldn't afford the hours-long transport fare, and the Flamengo staff simply did not believe the boy had enough talent, he never made it to the trial. However, he was soon spotted by Brazil legend Jairzinho, who recommended him to his former club, Cruzeiro. And some months later, at the age of 16, Ronaldo would make first-team debut for the club. His first senior goal came in a friendly during a tour of Portugal. During the tour, his performance against Porto impressed enough that they bid $500,000, which was turned down by club president CR7's. Upon returning from the tour, he scored 20 goals, with 8 coming in the Supercopa Libertadores, resulting in him being the tournament's top goal scorer. Ronaldo scored 44 goals in 47 games with Cruzeiro, leading them to their first Copa do Brasil in 1993 and the Minas Gerais State Championship in 1994. If you won't say it, I will. That was impressive. So age 17, Ronaldo moved to PSV. He moved to replace a certain Romario. Romario had been the team's talisman, scoring 128 goals in 149 appearances, and the club was convinced a 17-year-old Ronaldo should be his replacement. They were not wrong. Ronaldo would score just 10 minutes into his debut. That season he would go on to score 35 goals in 36 appearances. But that wasn't even the most exciting thing about him. What was striking about Ronaldo in that first season was how complete he was, even as a skinny teenager. Everything that would come to define him, the lightning pace, the blurry stepovers, the implausible impression that he was faster with the ball than without it, even the exceptional upper body strength, was all there. In many ways, Ronaldo was the first PlayStation footballer. His step-over was a form of hypnosis, and his signature trick, the Galactico, could certainly have come from a computer screen. In today's world, most people wouldn't find that very impressive because of this guy. But even when Messi was asked about Ronaldo, he replied, "Ronaldo was my hero. He was the best striker I've ever seen. He was so fast he could score from nothing, and could shoot the ball better than anyone. If this guy says that about you, you are special, so special." Barcelona broke the transfer record for him. Ronaldo would leave PSV, winning the Dutch Cup in 1996, and the Eredivisie top scorer in 1995. In his 2 years with the club, he scored 54 goals in 58 games. So in 1996, age 19, Ronaldo moved to Barcelona. During the 1996-97 season, Ronaldo scored 47 goals in 49 games in all competitions. He was physical perfection, and he seemed like a mythical figure. I love Lionel Messi. I played many times with Cristiano Ronaldo, and I adore him. Neymar is outstanding. Ronaldinho was exceptional. But if you put all of them together, you might get what Ronaldo was that season, said Quentin Fortune, a player who once played against him. That season, he won the FIFA Best Player of the Year award, making him the youngest ever in history to win the award. Arguably, Ronaldo's most memorable Barcelona goal was scored at SD Compostela on the 11th of October 1996. The footage of the goal was later used in a Nike advert with a voiceover asking, "Imagine you asked God to be the best player in the world, and he listened to you." And the goal was said to have been replayed 160 times on the main Spanish television channels in the 48 hours following the game. Ronaldo's time at Barcelona lasted 1 season, as there were problems with the renegotiation of his contract. Barcelona thought there was an agreement in place, with Barcelona president Josep Luis Núñez saying, "He's ours for life." But when the parties reconvened the following day, the agreement collapsed, with Núñez admitting, "It's all over. Ronaldo is going." And that's exactly what happened. Paying the buyout clause fee in his contract, Inter Milan signed him in the summer of 1997 for a then world record fee of $27 million, making him the second player after Diego Maradona to break the world transfer record twice. Ronaldo adapted to the Italian style of the game in his first season, finishing with 25 Serie A goals, and was named Serie A Footballer of the Year. Ronaldo started to develop into a complete forward. He began racking up assists, became first-choice penalty taker, taking and scoring free kicks. Halfway through his first season, he won FIFA World Player of the Year for the second time, and collected the Ballon d'Or. With the 1998 World Cup just around the corner, age 21, it was evident he was the greatest player alive. Ronaldo scored 4 goals and made 3 assists, leading Brazil to the final. And then it happened, hours before the final against France. Ronaldo suffered a convulsive fit. At first, he was removed from the starting lineup 72 minutes before the match. The starting lineup without Ronaldo was released to a stunned world media. However, shortly before kickoff, he was reinstated to the team after he begged and reassured everyone he was fine. He wasn't. Ronaldo was the last Brazilian player out of the tunnel as the teams entered the field. During the playing of the Brazil national anthem, the camera focused on him throughout, with Ronaldo visibly distressed. And throughout the final, he was a shadow of himself. It was as if he sleepwalked through the final, and during the match he even lost consciousness again. At the end of the day, France won the final, but despite this, Ronaldo would bounce back. After 2 seasons with Inter, AC Milan defender Paolo Maldini viewed Ronaldo and Diego Maradona as the 2 best players he ever faced. Inter had high hopes going into the 1999-2000 season, with their attack including Ronaldo and Italian stars Roberto Baggio and Christian Vieri. However, on the 21st of November, during a Serie A match against Lecce, Ronaldo felt his knee buckle and was forced to limp off the field. A medical examination confirmed that the striker had ruptured a tendon in his knee and would require surgery, a procedure which saw Ronaldo miss action for 6 months, after which the club's doctors said he was ready to return to action. But once again, he wasn't. During his first comeback on the 12th of April 2000, he played only 6 minutes during the first leg of the Coppa Italia final against Lazio, before suffering a complete rupture of the kneecap tendons. Ronaldo's physiotherapist Nilton Petrone stated, his kneecap actually exploded, and called it the worst football injury he's ever seen. Turns out, Ronaldo's kneecap was completely reaped off, and it was later found in his thighs. Yeah, that meant Ronaldo missed 2 years of action. And then came the 2002 World Cup. Prior to that, Ronaldo had barely played since his return, and he missed Brazil's entire qualification campaign where, without Ronaldo, Brazil were a shambles, fortunate even to get to the tournament. But then came the tournament, and Ronaldo would put up the singular most remarkable performance ever seen. Ronaldo scored against every opponent in the tournament, except in the quarter-finals against England. He ended the tournament with 8 goals, the record in a single World Cup, a record which will last over 20 years. It was the most remarkable comeback from injury that had threatened his career. Ronaldo led Brazil to their record 5th World Cup title. That season, having signed for Real Madrid for €46 million, his jersey sales broke all records on the first day. Ronaldo was part of the Galacticos era of global stars signed by the club every summer, which included Zinedine Zidane, Luis Figo, Roberto Carlos, and David Beckham. Ronaldo scored twice on his debut against Alaves, the first 61 seconds after coming on. The crowd literally went nuts. That same reception was observed at the final game of the season against Athletic Bilbao, where Ronaldo scored to finish his first season with 23 league goals and seal La Liga title for 2003. He also won an Intercontinental Cup in 2002 and Spanish Super Cup in 2003, scoring in both finals. He won the 2002 FIFA Player of the Year award again, not to mention his performance. In the second leg of Real Madrid's Champions League quarter-final, Ronaldo scored a hat-trick against Manchester United at Old Trafford, knocking the English team out of the competition. Completing his hat-trick with a swerving strike from 30 yards, Ronaldo was substituted off after 67 minutes and was given a standing ovation from both sets of fans. The next season, Real Madrid were on track to win the treble. But after Ronaldo got injured, Real Madrid lost the Copa del Rey final and were eliminated from the Champions League in the semi-finals. But it was around his time his body started to fail him. He discovered he had hypothyroidism, which explained his massive weight gain, and his injury woes only got worse. He started playing less and less games, and by his final season with Real Madrid, in 2007 he played only 13 games. He moved to AC Milan and later back to Brazil with Corinthians. In 2011, aged 34, he retired. His body finally won. Ronaldo will have no doubt go down as one of the greatest players ever, but we can only imagine what would have been if he was injury-free. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.